to our Shadow commentary.
Welcome back.
I fucking hate Eggman's model in this game.
Does look a bit ridiculous. I do like the idea of him being the lesser of two evils for once.
His moustache. It looks retarded.
Like everything else. Yeah. In most games, I just realised he does have a very fine moustache. In this one, it just looks like he's stapled it onto his face.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's the last of his receding hairline. Just get it on there, fucking chang, and done.
Now this level is basically the spiritual successor to Skyfleet from Heroes, I'd say.
Spiritual successor? The whole last fleet got destroyed. It is the successor to the last fleet.
Well, I mean, in terms of, like, concept.
Fair enough. So, 2,000 years ago, they transported this, and no, not even Google Earth picked this one up, or Google Mobius, or whatever the fuck they have.
Well, Snake, you realize that Earth only existed for 6,000 years.
Oh yes, of course! And then Chaos created it, right?
Yes.
I am drinking Green Goblin cider. It is quite lovely.
The powers of emulation have shown me that image of all those fleets moving towards them is actually just a still image that's being slowly slid.
Oh, that's just being ingenious, frankly. As a concept artist, we can't do this scene. I bet they just did that with a camcorder and just... it's just him. If you look close, you can see his fingernail just at the top of him, just like moving it. Them sly fuckers at Sega.
I've got to get on.
What was the point of that?
I honestly don't know.
This
I'd
is a
like
pretty
to
cool
think
stage.
maybe I was gone for like 10 minutes.
This game had some fairly good level design, I would say.
This is one of my favourite bits of music in the game, frankly, as well. Some of the level tracks I did want to comment on. This is one of my favourites.
I don't know, honestly, this is one of the Sonic games where I actually did not pay attention to the music that much.
Some of it is... Of the levels you've got, there's like 4 good level tracks. So, a second ago, I picked up the first rocket launcher in the game and I duly fucking chucked it because it's worthless.
You know, Shadow Boxes supposedly give you, like, more advanced weaponry, but it doesn't seem like it gave you anything except the same thing you already had.
It gives you unlocked weapons. Basically, after you've completed a few story routes, it will drop 3 or 4 weapons. Well, actually 1 for each story track. And I think this is my favourite gun in the game. I just don't know what it's called, so I'll just call it the anal gun, or the goatsy gun.
It fires various assholes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is another example where you have to kill Black Doom's fleet even when you're on his side in order to open doors.
Isn't this basically the gimmick from a couple of stages ago?
Last stage, actually, I believe.
2 stages ago. The sense of time is going to get very warped by the fact we're going to see some shit repeatedly.
Oh yes, this machine. Okay, this machine, I think it works fairly well when you're not hovering. The hovering is absolutely useless.
Yeah, the hovering kills all your momentum and is ridiculously slow. Aside from anything else. I actually die once because of it in this LP.
Once, well then. I died many more times. Like, and I'm talking about recently too. It's like, this thing just really, no.
That's another weird thing that we just saw a second ago. When you're in a vehicle, if you drive over... I just get out because it's fucking useless at that point. If you drive over a weapon, Shadow will auto pick up, which is a shame if you've got a good gun and you suddenly fly over a rocket launcher. The only decent rocket launcher in this game is... Look at that.
Nice.
The only decent rocket launcher in this game is the homing launcher. Because, well, it's fucking homes. But everything else, you do not have... No one on this planet has the manual dexterity to aim with a rocket launcher in this game. You could be the greatest Counter-Strike player on Earth, and you do not have the skill and aiming to hit something with that on a consistent basis.
Because it's constantly switching around.
Yeah. Shadow's flailing really doesn't help when you're trying to hit shit.
Counter-Strike Shadow Edition.
Well, get a few fucking model mods and you're there, basically. I like to think someone has actually made, you know, a full, like, counter-terrorist set of all the police models in this game and a terrorist set of fucking the Black Arms. And then you think about that sad man sitting somewhere in existence right now.
For not making them actually the, memorable Sonic characters and just making generic enemies.
Well done him. Actually, you could have at least put egg pawns on the terrorist side. That would actually amuse me now I think about it. Not in any kind of good way, but yeah.
Look at this. Those explosions, man.
Them explosions. They're just last-gen explosions. Sometimes I miss them. In this game, I don't.
Apparently this game was originally supposed to have, like, a Gears of War sort of third-person zoom-in thing.
It was? I
Yeah.
hadn't heard of that.
In the beta, supposedly, but then they didn't include it in the end. It was going to include some of that cover-based shooting.
That would... part of that.
See, they really were ahead of their time for predicting all the FPSs to come.
They really were. And you see how useless the melee is. You have to be in perfect range, and you don't get invincibility frames while you do it, so... If you miss... I didn't explain the golden keys.
You go ahead. I never managed to collect any of them, all of them in any stage.
I accidentally pick up all of them in Westopolis over the course of this run. Accidentally. Now basically on every stage there is a 5-lock door. If you find all the keys go in there, you get a goodie. Which is usually like a vehicle or a weapon or some such.
Really? I was always I was always wondering what would be behind the door, like maybe some sort of special stage or something. Nope, you just spoiled it to me, that was a vehicle or some shit like that. That's lame.
Yeah, it really is. It's just like you walk in there, oh, it's a special stage from Sonic 2. And then you really decide what's better. The special stages or Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
I fucked the special stage from Sonic 2. I hated it.
Yeah, with a burning passion. Look, I swear, this was from a couple of stages ago as well. This exact fucking, kind of setup.
Actually, no, you did this exact same thing earlier on in the same stage.
Repeating assets? Across levels and in the same stages? Why? I've never heard of this in a Sonic game before. Look at that, that's the most obvious puzzle ever.
Do you think Shadow has ever gotten sand in his vagina from all the sand in this stage?
Possibly. Thought he already had it, that's why he went all mopey.
One thing I do, this isn't really relevant in the... I guess I'll go into more detail about this when we actually do it, but in the neutral stages, I really do like how you can teleport between checkpoints.
Yeah, we won't see that in neutral whatsoever. It's only the backtracking is only really handy in a couple of stages, but you'll know when it's there. You'll know when it's there.
It is really a handy thing, asset though, when you do need to backtrack. I think.
That's the thing. There are a few well thought out elements in this game. It's just that none of them particularly play out well.
They don't work together.
Look, because of that, because you have to ride this son of a bitch in the worst fucking on-rails sections ever, outside of the rail levels of that fucking Heroes game. Yeah, you can't progress, which is strange, because typically what the game will do is, if you're above a bottomless pit and you run out of energy... Oh yeah, I'm showing off the infinite ammo. And you run out of energy, you will just keep flying until there's more land. So it's it works actually semi-decently.
Yeah, I noticed that. Then again, I don't know. I kind of expected that this game would just drop me into a pit.
Yeah, I mean, but surprisingly they don't fuck you over. There isn't a cheat death involved. It's quite unique, as you know.
This is even worse. To me, honestly, this part controlled worse than... This might surprise some of you guys, but I honestly found this to control more annoyingly than the speed sections from 06.
I thought he was going to say the Shadow Flight sections from 06, but I can't remember them for the life of me.
The Shadow Life section, in this one, this Leah Pleurodon, for lack of a better word, just... I don't know, I just picked a random dinosaur name. It slips about all over the place. Like one tap in the direction will just cause it to careen in that direction. At least the vehicles, the flying vehicles in 06, sure they were stiff as fuck, but at least they were stiff a little bit.
I'll grant that, but really, outside of one section, or no, actually it's one whole level, you're never going to have really enough enemies for those sections to be a bother. And even then, on that one stage, you can swap things enough for it not to be a threat. It's kind of weird to explain that. I don't want to explain it because I'd have to give stuff away for later on in the LP.
Oh look, we're already almost done with the game. Well,
yeah.
with the story at least.
The original plan when I came back to you was like after I did this, I sent you a message saying, "Look, we're not going to do the whole thing. I just can't be bothered." And then you said, "Okay, just record neutral and the ending." I'm like, "Well, fuck it. If I'm going to have to do all of it, I just might as well record this shit." So in my stupid little mind, that made sense, and prepare for the greatest voice acting ever.
What the?
Unnecessary backflip.
It's not as bad as the Twin Snakes, where every fucking cutscene had a jet noise and a flip of some
Oh
sort.
my god, low polygon shadows.
Shit, am I a low poly too? He just didn't actually notice the real shadow was right there. He just thought one was slightly out of line.
Oh, another defective, we'll have to take care of that later.
Shadow? Android? Am I an android too?
Yes!
Yes!
Amazing!
It happened! That android.
Am I a commentator too?
Oh.
We're gonna abuse the fuck out of that line.
Yeah, we might as well. It's like, that's probably the... I can't remember how many bad lines there are in this. And this guy has the most emotive voice acting in the game, sadly, which
He
is
really
odd.
does. Until it's... Oh god, his voice in 06 I just remembered.
All I remember is that he used to make creaking noises.
He sounds like a girl in 06.
Actually, you know what the best thing to do is? If you want to complete the opposite objective, you may as well just keep it to Eggman, because he'll actually give you better tips on where to go than fucking Omega would. He'll actually say, I'm going... The enemies are down, so okay, so you're going up. So it's better off just, like, fucking abandon Omega and let him lead himself to his own death.
So, one thing that really bugged me... Oh, actually, I'll say this for the next stage, so never mind. This stage, I actually died quite a lot on this stage, to be honest.
This isn't actually a bad one. I mean, it's fun to just run through this one, actually. Actually, this kind of reminds me, it's got, like, long stretches. It actually feels like there's a bit of speed in there, not much platforming, which is kind of weird. I think they're trying to gear it more towards killing enemies, but it's kind of like the combat is just as simplistic as any other Sonic game. It's just you've got an instant kill all button when you've got a gun.
I like how it bothers to give you a counter there, 0 out of 1.
Just to keep reminding me that I'm not doing anything. I'm just
It's like you might only kill half of it, so watch out.
A life bar would have been more helpful, lads. And skip that wait. Just fly through that door without damaging it. So, does Chaos Control... does that make me intangible as well? Because I didn't seem to actually touch anything. I just seem to become a ghost-like figure.
I mean... remember, it's taken what it did in SA2, which was, remember when we first see Chaos Control in SA2, like, he doesn't actually teleport, he just sort of speeds really quickly by Sonic.
Hmm.
And it's like Sonic actually manages to notice him, like, Sonic, like acknowledges, hey, it's not his speed, it's using the Chaos Emeralds to warp, etc.
Well, I don't actually think too much about this, but I think... Well, any character with super speed, therefore, sees the world in slow motion. I like to think it's actually really depressing as well. Like, like regular conversations take fucking hours for them. In their own head, they're just like, come on, fucking, you fuckwit. It makes any speed character really depressing if you think about it for too long. Sorry, did I just kind of kill any sense of happiness in this very, very delightful
No, I just don't have anything really to respond to that with.
Oh, okay. No comment on how the Flash is actually a really sad man. I just skipped a whole section of robots.
Thank God. I really hated fighting those Shadow Embers, because whenever I tried homing attacking them, they would just counter-homing attacking me.
Not here.
That's why the guns are handy.
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, should we just ignore that death?
No, it's Snicker, we can't. It's
Oh,
over there.
Look at that! Look at that
Amazing.
fucking light speed dash. Doesn't it work well?
Oh, one thing I must admit that I like what this game did. Instead of rings that you're supposed to light speed dash on, instead of just simply vanishing once you collect them, making it impossible to progress, you can actually, like, they just simply turn invisible, so meaning you can, light speed dash on them again even if you collected them.
Seriously, that's the point. This game sometimes feels like they had a well-designed idea in mind. they just really fucked up on everything.
Bells, yeah.
I mean, okay, this game...
Oh, look at that thing, look at he's flailing that big-ass minigun around.
Yeah. So, how strong is this motherfucker exactly?
Well, considering he can do the same acrobatics while holding this big-ass minigun that makes the heavy walk at, like, I don't know, less than a tenth of a mile an hour.
Good point. This is... Them pesky gun soldiers that are on my tail. Oh, those pesky men trying to murder me.
Those wily soldiers.
Oh. Oh, those fuckers. They want to shoot me dead. Pesky little ruffians.
Now, Doctor, you will tell me everything.
I mean, he's practicing. He's got a mirror in front of him. It's like, I gotta get this just right when I confront him. Now, Doctor!
Tell me everything, Doctor.
Am I an android too?
No one expects the Shadow Inquisition. Just got him over a stretcher. Tell me everything. Loading screen, oh cutscene.
Look at how he's just, like, he's moving at like 2 miles an hour, but he's like just throwing his arms about him.
He's theatrical, you know?
He needs to be overly dramatic, yeah.
He always dreamed of being an ice skater. Which is strange, because that's technically how he always moves around, but...
Anyway, this robot you see right here is basically a remake of the Egg Emperor from the Sonic Heroes, who was the final boss of each team.
Those androids.
Oh, I never noticed that, but it makes sense now.
Yes.
An android, too?
You and Omega.
I can just imagine, it's like, yes, what am I? You are an android too. Am I an android too? Yes. What?
Turning you into scrap metal.
Shadow looks so depressed.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the norm. Now, this boss is bitchy for all the wrong reasons. It's not hard because you have rings everywhere. It's just that landing a hit on him... Shadow's vertical aiming is batfuck retarded.
The point is, this was on PC.
Oh yes. The Master Race console.
Exactly.
Now, also, there are turrets at the back that you can aim at him with, but they turn slowly enough and they get destroyed by one of those beams. So, you get in it and it gets destroyed before you can ring a few shots off. There are also rockets you can fly up to get a few hits on him, but they are hardly worth enough. You will land maybe 1 or 2 hits on him. It's hard to describe. Also you'll see it later, so I will refrain from
Wasn't
describing.
like a parachute-like system you could use, or am I remembering this wrong?
You do, but it still doesn't give you much time. I was really fucking worried then about falling off the back.
Oh god.
You'll actually notice because
That aiming, like you're just firing at his feet.
Now, you'll see the thing about this is that, what's to describe? Fuck, I forgot everything I was going to say. Go me.
Okay.
Essentially, the chaos control in this mode changes. I was about to note the invisible wall there. So even if you jump, bounce off of his soldiers, you can't get up there. Chaos control changes. It just slows down the whole map around you, gives you infinite ammo and no damage, I believe. Also, the controls for firing the turret are inverted.
Why?
I don't know, it's really awkward. Here you go.
The ultimate power.
Oh, me.
Next time we meet.
The explosions are just stuck there, nice.
You wait and see.
He paused time using his own Eggman Chaos Control to deliver that line.
An android.
Oh look, Omega wants to be a ballerina too.
They will finally live out their dreams at Mario and Sonic at the London Olympic Games.
Well, see you in the next part.
See you in the next part.